Perfect. Okay. So this is a presentation about evaluation, economic evaluation of intangible assets. The idea is to use the measurement standard to measure intangible asset for an exploitation in the accountancy and economic sector. These are the topics of my presentation. An overview about the measurement methods of ICT and ICT standards. The international accounting standards that talk about intangible assets and immaterial goods, and the way to select the correct market values to assign an economic value to an intangible asset, and then other consideration about web, social media, and know-how evaluation. And then just a slide to figure out the future of using the blockchain to notarize the ICT expertises that will go to an economic evaluation. So talking about measuring standard, we talk about the digital intangible assets. And so the three main group of intangible assets are software solution, the data sets, databases, all related to a pool of data inside a company, inside an organization. And then other digital intangible assets are websites, social media, digital content. The problem is why we need to evaluate an intangible asset, because in the economic life of a company, of an organization, there are some moments where it's important to make an evaluation of the assets of the company. We can consider that in merger and acquisition situation, or financial corporate operation, extraordinary operation, or in a transfer pricing operation, cross-border mainly. Or we need to understand which is the value of patents that will give to the company some financial and some taxation benefits. And of course, the judicial evaluation, when a company has a situation in front of the judgment about, I don't know, an ICT contract, and a misunderstanding of making a contract, a project with a supplier, ICT supplier. It's important to have a method to evaluate not only technically but also in an economic way. I think that for a lot of reasons, I think that this situation could be very useful for the cybersecurity sector. Knowing very well which is the value of an asset, of an intangible asset related to ICT, software, database, knowing very well which is the value gives the company to make the right effort, the right investment to protect this asset. So we need, when we make some project of investment in cybersecurity inside a company, inside an organization, we need to know exactly which is the value, economic value of an asset. So it's important to for the future, I think. The situation, the methodology that we normally use to understand a project, like function point analysis or other methodologies related to professional rates in a country, can give you the value of the intangible asset. So this is a very simple categorization of methodologies related to the digital asset. For example, for software, and in a certain way, the data and data sets, we can use function point analysis to understand and measure artificial intelligence projects, or low code, low user interface software, software solution with a very high component of non-functional element. We can use Snap, that is more related to non-functional requirements of a solution. And then in other digital assets like websites, sometimes for the website we can use function point analysis as Snap, but sometimes we can use other methodologies. Or, for example, social media situation, we can use other methodologies, mainly in the marketing sector, like cost per click. But with this methodology, we can arrive to an economic evaluation of an asset. In Italy, we in the Italian function point user group, GUFISMA, we launched a couple of years ago a group for the measuring of the value of intangible asset, of the application asset. And we discussed about not only the technical measurement, but all the patrimonially, accountability methods to understand the value inside, for example, a balance sheet. What does the international accounting standards say about intangible assets? The international accounting standards are standards that are used to relate the balance sheet of a company, the profit and loss, and the right inscription of all the voices of the profit and loss. What the standards that interest us in the specific moment is International Accounting Standard number 36, number 38. They talk about immaterial cost that must be put on the balance sheet. And they said that this asset must have some characteristic, three main characteristics that must be. They must have autonomous identification. They can be resellable as a standalone good, and the evaluation must be on the market data. Why we have, which is the meaning of this evaluation? Why we have to understand the value of this asset to put into the balance sheet of a company? because we sometimes companies need to reevaluate their assets because in the balance sheet they need to put explanatory notes that makes, for example, investor understand which is the real value and the real intangible goods of a company. And for some extraordinary corporate financial operations, like first of all, merger and acquisition. I'm sorry. What the characteristic of the methodology, the measurement methodology, can be very near to the characteristic of ICT solution and software solution. For example, the autonomous identification, resellability. We can develop a software inside our company and we can sell it to another company inside the group or somewhere else. So the feature number 2 is it's okay. And the evaluation can be done on can be based on the market data. Especially in Italy, we have a good comprehension of the market data and the professional rates. And we have a lot of situations where, for example, the price of a function point can be seen in a very large public quotation. For example, for the public tender, we have indication of the value of the function point. So we can say that the market data are available. Then we have to understand which is for an accounting standard what we have to do. With this rate, we can understand the value of a solution, the value of a data set or ICT solution or an application, just with examining a substitution cost of evaluation. So the evaluation is done like making again the same software, making it again the same database. Having the market data, we can reconstruct the value of this asset. So we have...
Please, can you reshare your screen because we've lost the screen share, please?
Sorry?
We've lost the screen share, so can you reshare your screen, please?
Yes, just a moment.
Thank you, perfect.
Okay. So we have to find the way to choose the correct market value. For example, the market value of a function point, we can understand the value of a function point, understanding the value of the public tenders that are public information, and it's a very good point to understand the value on a certain date at a certain time, the value of the function point. To construct the value for the snap point, we can reconstruct it through the professional rates that we can see in the public tender, talking about professional ICT professional figure. like project manager, developer. Sometimes, very often, especially in Italy, we have a lot of tariff put on the public tender. So we have the starting value of a tender. So this could be an advantage. Having this historical database could be an advantage to understand and construct the economic value of a ICT solution. In the EVA project, we have built a platform, a software platform that brings together not only the functionality to understand and to measure for example, the function point of an application, but on the other hand, we have a big database of all professional tariffs and function point tariffs since 2016 of all the tenders. So we can associate with a very useful research in the platform, in the form. We can find the correct elements to put on the calculation of the solution. This is made both for function point and both for snap point. For snap point, the research is made on the group of professional competencies that are stored in the big database that we have. And then you can put the correct team mix of professional with their tariff alongside the four characteristics of snap point. So you can have a very detailed evaluation of that solution using the right tariff in the market in that specific moment. Last year, 3 years ago, consider, for example, to have to make an evaluation for judiciary situation. We need to reconstruct the tariff of 3 years ago, 5 years ago, probably, because in Italy the justice is so slow. And with this tool, we can understand exactly the value of 2, 3, 4 years ago. Okay, and now we have to see very briefly the value of other intangible assets. First of all, the database. The database, especially in Europe and in Italy, is considered as is considered under the copyright law. So it's important to understand that a database is made by intellectual property and is not a patent, like, for example, in the USA. We need to understand the value of a data set, and the measurement starts from the man. Start from the man who is involved in the process of build that database, normally using a software application. But to understand exactly what is made a data set, a database, we can start with this method to understand the role of the people involved in the process. We distinguish between worker, employee, and manager. Because and then we analyze the process, the business process, And then we see how many time all the people is involved in the every process. It's a sort of time and methods inside the company that builds up a data set. So having this information, we can say with the construction of the data set, we can set which tables, which records are dedicated to a process rather than another, is dedicated to a role rather than another, and then we can match the time and the cost of the time of each role to the table, and then multiplicate it to the number of rows, we can have the cost of a data set. So the last point is to understand how we can understand the know-how. Know-how normally is very difficult to understand and to give exact evaluation. Know-how, I think that in these times, know-how is more related to the data inside the company, the structured data inside the company, and so an ICT database. The structured data inside the company can be considered as a know-how. So we can use the previous method that we used to understand the value of a database. We can use it for a know-how. So we can start from the structured set of data, and then divide the structured data between all the roles involved in the company process, and try to give a value regarding to the effort that every role need to do for a certain set of data. This you can see in these are elements of this evaluation. And we recently have some experience in making an evaluation of know-how, starting from the data inside the company, the data set inside inside an organization. The last topic is using the blockchain to notarize the ICT expertises. This is just one slide, just to send a message. Probably in the future we will have some evolution of this, because at the end, after we have made an evaluation of an intangible asset inside the company, these intangible assets are the key factor of competitiveness inside the company. So the company needs to keep them very secret, very carefully, and notarize with a blockchain structure. This expertise gives, on one hand, the security to have secret over this evaluation, over this due diligence, over this expertise. On the other hand, if another subject, for example, in a merger acquisition operation or in judiciary operation, when some authority needs to know which is exactly the value of an asset, we can have the proof of an asset related to that time. So I think that blockchain can solve to this eventually. Okay, this is the project, and if you want, you can have more information via the website and a LinkedIn group. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michele. I think there's a question from Srinivasa. He says, very relevant topic. Is valuation using this methodology restricted to businesses and companies? What about databases maintained by the governments or, say, for example, the army?
Yes, good question. It's no problem. I think at the beginning I said that it's important to maintain secret over the information, both for the company, but of course for the public administration and other organization is the same problem. That's why I think that it's crucial using the blockchain method to maintain these secrets, and on the other hand, give the substances of the database of the due diligence. So no problem to understand the value of data in government or in the army, for example, because knowing the exact value of an intangible asset gives you information about which are the investment, for example, for cybersecurity, which are the right investment that you have to do in your organization, no matter it's a company or a government or army.
Thank you. Thank you.